This is the voice of freedom. We are not one voice. We are many. We are your voice. But we can only be effective if you use your voice. Your voice. This is the voice of freedom. We will not hide from the truth. We will ask the hard questions until we are sure we have the truth. Welcome to the voice of freedom, where your voice will never be silenced.
Hello, folks. How are you? What a bloody day. In fact, what a bloody few days. In fact, it's been a bloody week, if I can tell you that. I'm coming on a bit early tonight because this is going to be a short show. I have a lot of other things going on in the background at the moment that we're trying to work on. And there have been a few developments, one of which you will probably have seen at some stage today if you haven't. It was something I was alluding to last night, but couldn't really talk about at the time because I was still trying to extricate myself from it. And that would be Spiros. So let's have a quick chat about Spiros. He won't be appearing on this show any further. He's been removed from all of our websites. I've had significant doubts about the veracity of some of the claims being made by Spiros for some time. I've been involved in other things off the side and behind the scenes, helping people at various different times where there has been some Spiros involvement. And everything has been done, I'll just say, at least from my perspective, and those people who I've been working with, has been done with the absolute honest and most upfront intentions in mind. Due diligence. Yes, I guess we could all do more of that. And I think Spiros has appeared on every bastard show. That's what sort of started ringing my alarm bells initially. And I asked him 3 times about TAP and not to appear on TAP, not to deal with TAP. It became very obvious that it was just a way of accessing more, or promoting the whatever he was promoting at the time, to get that word out more. So I find that pretty serious. I do not deal with people who are ingenuine, and I've learned a lesson. But I dare say we've all learned a lesson. Spiros has been on every one of our shows, and I don't know who did the due diligence today or the last few days, if you like, but I can tell you that I had a conversation last week with Spiros, and at the end of that conversation, I'd pretty much decided then that we won't be having any association going forward. Now, where does that leave you with whatever you've done regarding his class actions? Contact him. Contact me. I'll give you his email address, whatever you need. I'm unclear, and I didn't get answers out of him last week when he was on the show about whatever has gone on with his websites and whatever funds have happened to go or be transferred for various different things that he's leading at the moment. Now, I know because I've had a lot of emails, and these emails have been coming now for 2 weeks. So I've been working in the background trying to figure out what exactly has been going on with all of this. But the emails I have been getting are from people who have committed to join the class action that he was pushing and have paid whatever donation money was being asked for, and have not received receipts from it. In one case, I know of one family that has put in 3 separate applications, received 1 receipt. 2 other $100 payments have gone unreceipted. Now, there has been some talk about hacking on his site. I know nothing about it. I really think that Spiros used that word himself, and I'm not sure that he used it in the correct terminology. There was a website that they initially set up. I believe the fellow was in Brisbane who initially said he would put the website up. For whatever reason, they had a falling out. Spiros came into my sphere just after that, and more because of what he was doing with Paul Offey and the Freedom Truck. That's how I really found Spiros. Through that association, many others have popped up. It's been interesting. And if you've ever watched this show before, you know, folks, I give you enough rope. And that is essentially what I do with everybody that I meet, especially those that come along bearing gifts. I'm not looking for large donations. I'm not looking for, huge, great business partners. I'm looking for people who want to build a better world for all of us. And some of them have money. Some of them have very altruistic purposes in mind, and some of them are extremely generous. Some of them have other things in mind. They are generous to a point, but they are about making money. I don't fault people for making money. That's what we've been programmed to do. I don't like people who make money off people like you and I, and take us to the cleaners with it. So I don't know, and I'm not suggesting for a moment that Spiros is doing anything like that, but there are too many other stories that I've been told. I've had a lot of intelligence given to me about Spiros in the last 2 weeks. I've been working to try and work my way through that. At the end of the day, a lot of it is, I took his advice. I went to court. It cost me a lot of money. Well, Spiros has claimed that he hasn't been a lawyer for 20 years. There is now some doubt that he has ever been a lawyer. But regardless, you took the advice. You could have taken legal advice. You could have gone to a lawyer. You could have lost and got the same result. Would you blame the lawyer like you're trying to blame Spiros? And I'm not defending him. I'm just saying it's not a strong argument. So what to do? Well, the bona fides of the class action, I believe, are solid. If Spiros is a man of his word, then he will be lodging a Supreme Court writ tomorrow in Victoria. That's what he told me last week. So let's see whether or not Spiros is going to lodge that Supreme Court writ in Victoria tomorrow, that class action. It was going to be rolled out across every state and actioned tomorrow, February the 1st. Was my understanding, but there were delays in all the other states last week, he told me, except Victoria. So, and he doesn't care, as he said, if anybody gets in it or not. He's going to run the case himself, and that'll be what he does. Well, he has every right to do that, as do you, if you so desire. You can get up and run a class action yourself. You don't have to have Spiros to do it for you. But I will tell you that he won't be here. He won't be appearing on here anymore. If I am going to direct your questions to him, it will be just forwarding your email. I have nothing to do with any of his businesses. I have nothing to do with, anything really from him, and I've never taken a cent from him. Let's be clear, not 1 cent. So that's what we play with in this game, folks. We're always out looking for people who say one thing and do something else, or who might have ulterior motives. And they pop up all of the time. They pop up offering you everything that you need. Now, a lot of people seem to think I need a lot. I'm in a shit financial position, but I've been in a shit financial position all my life, and I'm used to it. So don't think that I'm complaining. All right, we'd all love to have great money, and when the QFS comes through, it will. We'll all be happy. Money is not the issue. Security in later life. I don't care if I die and am buried in a pauper's grave. I do not care. I care about making a better world, finally, because my bloody life has been pretty shitful up until a number of years ago, and that was mainly because of the way I contributed to the world, pretty shitfully. So the good Lord tells us that if we contribute a bit better, we have a better life. I'm hoping that he's good to his word. And I have no reason to believe that he's not, because I may not be rich financially, but you people have changed my life. You've changed my daughter's life. You've made us emotionally rich. You've made us rich in so many ways. Rich in friendship, love, understanding, tolerance. We're rich. We're really rich. Okay? Really rich. So, and it comes from you, right? And it's not money. It's you. It's us. That's what I feed off here. Us. So, I'm not going to do anything knowingly that's going to jeopardize us. And as soon as I become aware that something might jeopardize us, I will cut its head off. So, one down. Actually, there's a lot more than one down, but not everything happens here where you see it. So, yeah, there is a lot more in this war that goes on that you don't see. And there are a lot of good battlers, a lot of great patriots fighting it. I am but one, and I get to speak to you for a short time every day. There are many out there fighting this war that don't speak to you at all, that don't have a public profile, that just go away quietly, work away. You might see some of their work cross your screens during the day. They are our heroes. They are the people that keep pushing this. I'm just a conduit for it, and we will get a lot better at it. No, I won't tell you about that. Look, I'm working on a lot of things behind the scenes, folks. In fact, there's going to be a very interesting meeting next week, which I'll be at. I don't know if I'll be part of, but I'll be at. And you will be able to see what I think will be one of the more interesting conferences that will be held this year on Voice of Freedom. That is the plan. That should happen sometime next week, if all things go to plan. There are a lot of things happening in the background. American intel, well, I haven't been in touch with anybody in America in like 3 weeks, if I'm honest. I've been focused on us here in Australia. I've been focused on the small, interesting little bushfires that have been started around us. I've been focused on finding out how certain people gain certain access to certain other people. And it proves very interesting when you know how to hunt. So, yeah, there are interesting things happening in the background, and I will tell you about them when I can. I don't know anything you don't know. You could go and do this information. You could go and do what I'm doing. You just want to give up your job and, live out of your car for the rest of your life doing it. It'll be great. And that's not a sob story. I've got to stop saying shit like that. I say that as a joke, right? So it's just a joke. So, yeah, that's the deal. It's going to be quick tonight. As I say, I've already gone 12 minutes, and I say quick and I wind up going an hour and a half. I'm not going an hour and a half tonight. I have to be at another thing. We have all sorts of infiltrators in this game, folks, all sorts of infiltrators. We have a lot of people who are single or second dimensional type thinkers who watch something happen and think that's actually what happened, or they don't fully appreciate the repercussions or what else may have been triggered from certain events. That is exactly what's happening at the moment, folks. There is a shitload going on in the background that you do not know, and for a variety of reasons, I only know little bits of it, and only the bits that pertain maybe to me. But there is nothing to tell yet. That is essentially my message to you. There are things happening. There is nothing to tell yet. Yes, I think you'll enjoy the steps that will come in the next month, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. There'll be a number of steps taken, and you won't have to wait a month. You'll see some before that. But at the moment, we've got to sort of kind of keep it a little bit quiet, because as you've probably no doubt discovered, there are these strange little people who like to try and attack us for all sorts of different reasons, try and divide a wedge between us, folks. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying very hard to build division. And that is to be expected, because that's what these folks do. So that's all good. We fight division with unity and community. And for that reason, that's why I throw everything I have behind my place, because I can come and meet you at your place, at my place at your place. You see how it works? If you haven't got a My Place in your place yet, then get on to myplaceaustralia.org and check it out. There are over 70 now. We're crawling our way up the East Coast. We've been going, I think, since October last year. When I say we, I mean Darren Bergwerf and his crew. I'm just supporting it. I claim nothing for this. This is Darren Bergwerf's baby, and all I'm doing is talking about it because I think it is one of the most, if not the most worthwhile thing that will happen in your community this year. Make it happen, folks. Make it happen, because this year is going to be a very, very big year. We've got weather chats. We've got What else is going on over here? Oh, yeah, remove the stupid smart cities. Yeah, smart cities is something you want to be very careful of, folks. And be careful of TAP. TAP are hooked in with an agency that's hooked into the UN that controls local government, okay? I forget the acronym now, UILC or UICL or something like that. That's one of the things I'm working on in the background that I will give you a little bit of a heads up to, because TAP are very much hooked in with the UN and these little secret bodies that control your local council. How do you think you get the green flogs coming in and saving a gum tree in the middle of a paddock that a farmer needs to crop? That's how this sort of shit happens. So they are invading our councils, and they're doing so with UN support. Where's TAP's money coming from? The UN, allegedly. Although they told me that themselves. So that's why I've had nothing to do with them. I've had one meeting with TAP. They told me 3 people were turning up. They sent the lowest rated one to come and talk to me eventually. He told me everything. And we left that meeting. We haven't spoken again. Maybe once, maybe twice, where they tried to convince me I was walking away from a great thing, promised me the world. Oh, we'll give you a bus to tour around the country in, Carl. Oh, we'll give you this. We'll pay you $200,000 a year, Carl. Whatever you want. Money's no object. We're getting it all. It's all done. We're working with the number 2 man, not the number 1. We're working with the number 2 man from the UN, because the number 1 man we proved was corrupt. But not everybody at the UN is corrupt. I did suggest that not everybody at the UN is corrupt, but I think you could probably guarantee the number 1 and the number 2 guy have probably got cases we could examine and look at and find fault. But I know they're sticking with that. And if that's the way they want to go, great. But I am not aligned with them. I will not align with them. If I can manage it, this will be the last time I ever mention their name. The first time, if you go back through every one of my shows, was only a week or so ago talking to John Wilson. That's the first time you've ever heard me mention them, I think, on air. I might be wrong, but I haven't mentioned them much. So anyway, I do not play their game. And if you do come to me with lots of money and you want to buy me a motorhome, or you want to buy me something to get me around the country, then we're going to have a long, serious conversation about it. Before anything gets agreed to. That's just how it works. I'm not interested in getting a motorhome for myself. I'm not interested in getting a motorhome so I can promote whatever product needs to be sold. I am only interested in getting a message to you. Now, do I need to get that message to you in your street? Do I need to come to your town to do that? That's the question I'm now being asked, because, well, I'm asking myself, do I need to? I mean, it'd be great. That's how we build community. That's how we build unity. But I can't do it without having a vehicle. And the only people offering it to me have nefarious, I believe, motives in mind. Some of them, anyway. Some of them might be quite genuine. But until we can figure out who's who in the zoo, I'm not taking anything from anyone other than the odd $1.25 donation that somebody wants to give me as a membership, which is 100% transparent. You know where it goes. I can show you the fuel receipts. So that's it. So if I am going to travel, it's going to be because you people want me to. You people get me something to do it in, or you people don't. Okay. I can do it from here. I mean, I can show you right now how the illustrious settings of my studio. Now, if you want to talk, somebody was talking the other day having a go about studios. I don't need a studio. I've got equipment. I just need wheels to get around, see people. There you go. Blank wall behind me. Sitting in the bedroom tonight. So that's just how easy it is to work in a studio. Yes, I could probably do with a better green screen. Yes, I could probably do with better lights. That way I wouldn't phase in and out like you can see with my hands right now. Okay, that's a lighting issue. So, yeah, there are those sorts of things, and we will pick up that, folks. I will make it better for you. There's just been a few other things we've got to play around with. But I'm not going to do it to your detriment. I'm not going to go and get a whole heap of wonderful broadcast TV lights or some shit, to make me look good instead of you. I don't care what I look like, right? At the end of the day, I think you could probably tell. I don't care what I look like. I don't care. Never wanted to be on the TV. So I have to lift my game in that way. If you want me to, I will. And I'm being told you want me to, so I will. We will make a lot of changes. I've been waiting for the right time to make them. So we'll make some of them sooner than I'd hoped, or sooner than I expected, maybe. And we will make others maybe a little later than I'd hoped. But there will be changes. And I only do this for you folks. So when you stop turning on, when you stop watching, when you stop talking to me, when you stop sending me emails, I'll know. And that'll be pretty simple. I'll just go back into anonymity and live wherever I live. And you don't have to feel bad about it one iota. So somebody rang me today and said, oh, people are feeling bad about you. So don't feel bad. No, don't feel bad. There is nothing to feel bad about. I'm loving this fight. I'm loving this fight. I'm loving meeting you. You are the people that energize me. You are the people that give me power. And yeah, look, I'm not perfect at this. You know, I am the kind of person that wants to hear you out. And if you're saying the right things, I want to believe you. But I don't swallow what you say wholeheartedly until I see your actions reflected, or your words reflected in your actions. So I'm afraid I've run into a lot of people, supposedly influential in this game, whose words are amazing, but whose actions let them down terribly. And that's why you don't see them on this show. Because I want my actions to back up my words. I want my words to mean something so that my actions mean something in the end. And yes, we will have infiltrators come out and offer all sorts of things to make our lives easier, to make us a star. And this is where, I don't know, they all come to you with the same thing. They all come with you to try and boost your ego. None of them have quite figured out yet that I'm not driven to be on the TV. I'm not driven to be back on the radio. I'm driven to do this for you. That's about it. So offering me jobs on radio or that sort of stuff doesn't appeal. It just puts me back into the mill, and I'm going to have an argument with your manager within a week. They're going to find me prickly. And then the HR guy and I are going to become really friendly over the course of the next 2 months when they, figure out the right way to sack me before my probation period wears off. So, no, I have no intention of going back into radio or whatever, unless I start my own radio station, which I just might. Oh, you can't do that. It's illegal, you say. Yes, well, there's a lot of things people think about the radio industry that are illegal, or a lot of things people think they know about the industry, and they'd be wrong. Yeah, that's an interesting point, Samantha. No point in doing much right now, Carl. The world would literally need to go belly up before anything changes. The best thing anyone can do right now is learn the skill and a trade that is needed. Couldn't agree more. Go and learn how to drive nails, how to measure and cut wood, because you might want to learn the skills to be putting that together into something at some stage. So yeah, there are all sorts of interesting little things that could happen. There are a lot of interesting things that are playing out in the background at the moment, folks, and I wasn't joking about radio stations. So we'll just see what happens. So that's the story so far. The big news, I guess, today, I was going to do something else tonight, but this whole thing with Spiros I've been aware of it now for 2 days, and I've been trying to verify it. And it's verified. So I got no choice. I think we only said this over the weekend, folks, at one of the chats over the weekend. I only have one commodity to trade with you, and that's trust. I will never knowingly jeopardize your trust. I expect people to come and try and gain my trust. I expect nefarious types to try that. I go looking for them. And I've identified a few that you haven't heard much about yet, but you're going to. Through me, maybe through others too. But we're going to see where they go. If it's for the people, I'm going to help you. If it's for the people. If the people benefit, great. Now, essentially what Spiros was offering was a benefit to the people. And he was about to offer you another large benefit through me. But I smelled the rat and ran away. So consider yourself a bit lucky, because some of you might have got very heavily involved in something else, and there would have been a bit more money involved. So I'm glad that we've avoided that. And if I hear that it's running anywhere else, I'll make you aware of it. But at this stage, I can find no details of Spiros ever having passed the bar exam. I can find no examples of him ever standing in a court. And he has been reasonably... No, he hasn't been reasonably open. He has been obliquely honest with his legal skills around me. There were a few different ways he explained you could be a lawyer, and he went through one certain way of it. Now, yes, there is a pathway to become a lawyer through that path, but you have to jump through a number of hoops, and different sorts of hoops to get there. And while I thought he did, it seems he didn't. So it is what it is. I'm not prepared to say that he was never a lawyer. He may well have been somewhere, but at this moment, I can't find any proof of it. And I'm sure if you were to do a Google search, you would probably be able to find a few interesting stories about other businesses that Spiros has been involved in. Now, I haven't bothered reading them, but I know they're out there. So if you feel the urge, you can go and avail yourself of those sorts of details. Let me have a look here. Samantha, we have to stop looking at money like it's the savior of our problems when it's really the reason why we're all... Oh, God, Samantha, you're 100% so right. And that's why I think it's important that at some point we talk about the QFS. Now, I don't talk about the QFS a great deal because I'm a bit ignorant about how it's all supposed to work. It's got a lot of numbers involved, and you know me and numbers. I am trying to work on someone who has a great deal of knowledge about the QFS to come on the show. That's working in the background at the moment. They are a very private person and have a huge amount of knowledge and a huge amount of contacts and a huge amount of intel, if I'm honest. So I'm happy to maintain their anonymity and let them come on if that's the way they would like to. But yeah, there is some very interesting things going on with the QFS. Now, over the weekend, I was sent a number of screenshots of people who had tried to go to the Perth Mint and buy gold or silver, and they found it was unavailable. Okay, I went and had a bit of a look, and yes, it was unavailable on the Perth Mint when I had a look. It was unavailable to be logged into an account. I've got friends who've got an ABC bullion account, and they tried to log into it to buy, I think it was on Saturday night, might have been Sunday night, and they couldn't log in at all to buy or trade any kind of metals. I went to Ainsley Bullion, and you had to go through the entire cart process to find out whether or not they were actually able to deliver the gold or silver to your hand. And I didn't. I got distracted, never wound up going through that. So I don't know if it was still available for that. I sent a message off to Cass Smith. It was late Sunday night when this happened, and she got it Monday morning. She said, no, I haven't heard of anything like that. So she raced in and had a bit of a look. She was still able to go in and buy silver and whatnot on Monday morning. Maybe it had all ended by then. I haven't been back onto the Perth Mint to have a look, but by all means, feel free to jump on and have a look, see what they had to say. The other interesting thing for me is the US debt clock has hit zero. Now, the US debt clock is a very significant thing because it essentially means that the US is now out of money. It cannot pay its debts. It cannot pay its interest to its creditors. So usually around about this time, there is some kind of a funds-raising effort made, I think, in the Congress, and then they vote on it and they argue over it, and then they say, oh, yeah, we're going to lift that another couple of $1 trillion. You know, who cares? We're just going to go into debt another 2 or 3 or whatever it is $1 trillion. I don't think that's going to happen this time. Wouldn't it be a great way to trigger a financial crash? I'm just saying, interesting that you couldn't buy gold or silver over the weekend from the Perth Mint. Just interesting, timing-wise. That's all I'm saying. So, is it true that oh God, what's this? Is it true that Albert Einstein did not appear to be a scientist? Wow. I don't know what he appeared to be. Pineapple? I don't know, what are you alluding to? There are some interesting things I'm working on in the background too with Tesla. Nikola Tesla figured out all our energy issues and was murdered for it. The secrets, his energy secrets, were saved in most part. And we are starting to see examples of how that technology was used in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, popping up on our YouTubes and associated other things. Vehicles using electromagnetic propulsion, getting 2, 3, 4 feet off the ground. There is a United States government document stating that through the use of this technology, there will be no need for any kind of on-the-ground road infrastructure for the future required, because they could lift any weight, travel at any distance. Now, this technology was available in the 30s, the 40s, and the 50s. Obviously, it wasn't widely available. Obviously, it was only being shown in certain places. Could I say to the the elites? They were the ones who were seeing this. They were the ones who got to play with it on their little secret islands, on their little hideaways, on their massive acreages, where they could do so in great privacy. Of course, today they don't have that privacy, even on their massive acreages and all that sort of stuff. We can still get pictures from a long way away. An aircraft flying over the top can take a good photo, as we often see with those aircraft flying around our towns doing mapping surveys. Clearly, well, they must have really shit cameras, because, you know, the Gold Coast got mapped like 36 times last year. I think Lismore got mapped. Maybe Lismore was 36 times last year. Got mapped. Pretty confident they're finding out where the water went and how they can get it to go higher next time. But yeah, still no answer from the companies doing the mapping, by the way. Okay, so the US debt clock's apparently a private website, not an official government website. I wouldn't expect the US government to officially put one up, no. But I do believe, yeah, let's call them the parasites. I do believe that the debt clock is a real thing. So whether that's the real thing or not, and we do know that the debt clock usually does come due right about this time or in January. So they occasionally give themselves a 1 or a 2 year lift, but they use it as leverage too if they have a very close Congress. And we certainly have, well, a close Senate, not a representative council, if you like, in America, but the Senate is very close. House of Representatives is full on. There we go. Here's another one. Aussie Sue. Strange. 2 power guys were going house to house, taking photos of power lines leading into houses and standing back taking roof shots. And yeah, they'll be identifying, well, I'm guessing that they are identifying infrastructure. Maybe for something that needs replacing, you know, your suburb might be up to get power put underground or something. So I wouldn't go reading too much into that. But I would be going over and asking for their credentials and what they're doing. And if they're taking photos of your roof or your house, I think you have every reason to inquire as to what they're doing. At any rate, folks, I did say only a short one. We've gone 35, so that's it. I've got somewhere I need to be. So just to recap, you won't see Spiros on this program anymore. You won't hear me talking about him anymore. I certainly won't be promoting anything he's doing anymore. if you have taken him up on the offer of being involved in the class action, I am led to believe that the class action in Victoria will be lodged tomorrow. That was what he told me last week. And believe it or not, he was actually going to be on the show tonight to announce that. So that all ended last week after we had our phone conversation too. He may not have known about it, but I certainly did. So that's the story, folks. I'm not here to be bought. I'm not here to take large amounts of cash. I am here. If you folks who think you've got it want to offer it, then I'm here to listen to your offer. But unless it's for the people, don't bother. I don't need your help. Don't need anything from you at all. And that's the way it's going to stay. And if that means that I don't get to go out and be another one of those dickheads on the roads permanently, then so be it.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's rock!